More now on our top story, President Bush's remarks in Israel and the political storm they started in the United States. The president compared those who would negotiate with terrorists to leaders who wanted to appease the Nazis prior to World War II. The White House says the statement wasn't aimed at any one person, but Senator Barack Obama saw it differently. He accused the president of making a false political attack. Since then, a volley of statements from both sides of the aisle. Presumptive Republican presidential nominee John McCain saying, why does Senator Obama want to sit down with a state sponsor of terrorism? What does he want to talk about with Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad? Democratic National Committee Chairman Howard Dean had this to say about McCain. If John McCain is really serious about being a different kind of Republican, he'll denounce these remarks in the strongest terms possible. And, of course, the fallout continues. Let's bring in Temple University professor and Fox News contributor Marc Lamont and Republican strategist Andrea Tantaros. And Andrea, I mean, you know, even though the White House says this wasn't aimed at any one person, the umbrella that it might have been aimed at certainly included Barack Obama.
Well, absolutely. Look, I think the president's comments were fair and square. Do I think he should have made them on foreign soil? No, absolutely not. But it does bring up an important dialogue that we need to have, and that is, what are we going to do about Iran? What does Barack Obama plan to talk about with the Iranians? He said he would meet with Ahmadinejad. What's he going to say? How is he going to do about it? This isn't politics anymore. This is policy. Let's get on some substance.
And really, you know, John McCain brings up a fairly decent point, Mark. And let me just read you Barack Obama, just so we have it clear what he said. He said he would personally negotiate with Iran and offer economic incentives and a chance for peace relations if they forego their nuclear program. Mark?
Absolutely, and I don't see anything objectionable about that. If we're talking about change, if we're talking about changing the type of cowboy diplomacy that the Bush administration has deployed over the last 8 years, that means that we have to not only sit down with friends, but also sit down with enemies. That doesn't mean
these enemies are not just enemies. These enemies are killing our soldiers in Iraq. These enemies are defying us in every way imaginable, trying to build nuclear weapons. These enemies are not on the verge of sitting down with us for some kind of a tea-chat. They are killing our soldiers as you and I sit here today, Mark.
Well, that's exactly why we can't make a caricature of these meetings. No one is suggesting that you sit down with Mahmoud Ahmadinejad and say, well, what would you like us to do? Or assume that he's operating in good faith all the time. But not sitting down with them does nothing to advance our cause. Our primary goal here should be protecting American people and creating peace in the nation. And sitting down with people can do that at times. Sometimes we have to get tough. Sometimes we need some diplomacy. Sometimes we need both.
I don't know. You know, when I hear the term, I would personally negotiate. I mean, we've all talked about this, and for all intents and purposes, as long as Ahmadinejad is killing our soldiers, as long as he is funding Hezbollah and fighting this proxy war in Lebanon, negotiating with him is pretty much out of the question right now, isn't it, Andrew?
Yeah, absolutely. And he said he would do it without preconditions, which is completely naive and completely reckless. But you know what? Today, it seems that every campaign won. John McCain gets to talk about foreign policy and point out Barack Obama's weakness on it. The Obama campaign got a present. They get to engage with President Bush. How fantastic. And Ahmadinejad gets to absolutely watch with glee as we have this divisive media circus going on today. The real losers here, the American people, and, well, Hillary Clinton. She seems a little bit left out.
Well, and Mark, I got to tell you,
it's clearly...
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it seems to me a bit of American arrogance to suggest that they have to jump through certain hoops just to have the pleasure of sitting down with us. Now, of course, they have to meet certain preconditions for us to concede any points or to offer any type of restructuring in terms of economic sanctions and so forth. But just to meet with someone is not to jeopardize the American people's safety. If anything, it enhances the American people's safety.
And I got to tell you, I talked about this with Major Gate earlier. It sure sounds like we're in the general election, doesn't it? You've got Obama linking John McCain with President Bush. I mean, this thing sounds like Hillary Clinton is really on the back burner, and we have gone on to November.
That's right.
Hillary who? Yeah, I don't recognize the name. I'm sorry, but I mean, I think we have to be very, very careful about the way we talk about this. I mean, John McCain today has made a very, very dangerous statement suggesting that Hamas's ostensible support of Barack Obama is something we need to be talking about.
Mark, they do. They endorsed his candidacy.
They don't. No,
yes,
okay,
they have.
But listen to me. If we're saying that they are the most dangerous and dishonest and evil people in the world, why are we assuming that they're saying what they really feel? Why are we trusting them so forth, and why are we injecting their opinions into mainstream electoral politics? Why are we giving them voice?
You cannot reason with Ahmadinejad. I don't care who you are. I don't care how.
But that's not what I'm talking about.
How wonderfully brilliant Barack Obama thinks he is. He cannot reason with anybody. And you know
what? But what I'm talking about right now is Hamas. And what I'm saying is
that was a perfect stopping right there. Marc Lamont Hill, Andrea Tantaros. Great to have you both on.
Thanks, Trace.